Have you ever wondered how powerful the network that military spouses really possess is? 1.3 million active duty military families, 50 states, 800 plus military installations, and among them, an invisible but unbreakable communication web. This network appears innocent through casual conversations, school pickups, commissary shopping. But in reality, it's an underground system with intelligence sharing capability faster than the CIA. Fort Bragg, North Carolina, October 23rd, 2024, Tuesday, 15:45 hours. Jessica Martinez, 32 years old, 15-year Army wife, husband. Staff Sergeant David Martinez on his third deployment in Iraq. Normal, Tuesday afternoon. Tyler Martinez, 7 years old, second grade, left John F. Kennedy Elementary, but didn't come home. 15:50 hours. Jessica in panic mode. When she called the school, shocking news. Mrs. Martinez, Tyler was picked up at 3:15 p.m. by an authorized family member. Jessica, what authorized family member? I didn't authorize anyone. School secretary, ma'am, the person showed proper ID and Tyler seemed to know them. 1600 hours. Cumberland County Police arrived. Officer recommendations. Ma'am, we need to file an official missing person report. Contact FBI Child Abduction. Rapid Deployment Team. Issue Amber Alert. Standard procedure. 2 to 4 hours processing time. 6-8 hours FBI response. 12 to 24 hours full investigation launch. But Jessica Martinez wasn't just a standard Army wife. She was a veteran spouse with 15 years of military community experience. She knew that the Military Wives Network had 3 critical advantages: geographic omnipresence, military families stationed in every state, every major city, every highway route, communication speed, text chains, Facebook groups, WhatsApp networks. Information spreads countrywide within minutes. Surveillance capability. Military spouses naturally observant, trained to notice details, and hypervigilant about child safety. 1605 hours. Jessica's decision. FBI procedure too slow. She would activate the Military Spouse Intelligence Network to find Tyler. First text. Urgent. Missing child. Fort Bragg. Message to 47 contacts in her immediate spouse circle. Message included Tyler's photo, physical description, last known location, vehicle description from school security footage, blue sedan, partial NC plate, BC, suspected direction of travel. Welcome to Human Stories. Before we continue with this incredible tale of maternal determination and the hidden power of a military community networks, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from today? And if you believe these stories of everyday heroes protecting our children deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button. Jessica Martinez had learned long ago that being an Army wife meant mastering the art of crisis management while maintaining the appearance of normal suburban motherhood. For 15 years, she'd navigated deployments, relocations, and the unique challenges that came with military life. But nothing had prepared her for the phone call that would test every skill she'd acquired as part of the military community. The Martinez family lived in base housing at Fort Bragg, in a modest 3-bedroom unit that had been home for the past 2 years. Tyler's room was decorated with action figures and drawings of soldiers, inspired by bedtime stories about his father's deployments. Jessica had worked hard to make each temporary duty station feel like home, knowing that stability for Tyler meant adapting to constant change. David's current deployment to Iraq was his third, and Jessica had developed routines that helped both her and Tyler cope with single parenting. Tuesday afternoons meant picking Tyler up from school at 3:30, followed by homework time, dinner preparation, and their scheduled video call with David at 7 p.m., 3 a.m. Baghdad time. When 3:45 p.m. came and went without Tyler appearing at their usual meeting spot near the school flagpole, Jessica's first instinct was irritation rather than panic. Tyler was sometimes slow leaving his classroom, distracted by conversations with friends, or delayed by his teacher, Mrs. Patterson. By 4 o'clock p.m., irritation had shifted to concern. Jessica walked through the school hallways, checking Tyler's classroom, the library, and the playground. The building was nearly empty, with only a few after-school activity groups and maintenance staff remaining. Mrs. Martinez? The voice belonged to Principal Williams, who'd noticed Jessica's increasingly frantic search. Is everything all right? I can't find Tyler. He wasn't at our meeting spot, and I've checked everywhere. Principal Williams led Jessica to the main office, where Secretary Mrs. Chen pulled up the afternoon dismissal log on her computer. Tyler Martinez, yes, here it is, signed out at 3:15 p.m. by... Mrs. Chen paused, squinting at the screen. Maria Gonzalez, relationship listed as aunt. Jessica felt the blood drain from her face. I don't have a sister named Maria. David doesn't have a sister named Maria. I never authorized anyone to pick up Tyler. The words hung in the air like a physical weight. Mrs. Chen immediately called Principal Williams over, and within minutes, the reality of the situation became clear. Tyler had been taken by someone claiming to be a family member, using identification that had satisfied the school's security protocols. We need to call the police immediately, Principal Williams said, already reaching for the phone. Jessica's military spouse training kicked in automatically. Yes, call the police, but I also need the security footage from the pickup area, a description of the vehicle, and any other details your staff can remember. As Cumberland County police officers, Rodriguez and Thompson, arrived at the school, Jessica was already processing the situation with the analytical mindset that 15 years of military crisis management had taught her. Tyler hadn't wandered off or gotten lost. He'd been deliberately taken by someone with enough knowledge of the family to convince both Tyler and the school that the pickup was legitimate. Mrs. Martinez, Officer Rodriguez said gently, we understand this is terrifying, but I need you to know that we have excellent protocols for missing children. We'll file the report immediately, contact the FBI's Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, and issue an Amber Alert. Officer Thompson added, the FBI team can be here within 6 to 8 hours, and they have resources that we simply don't have access to at the local level. Jessica listened to the officers explain the standard procedures, but her mind was calculating different possibilities. 6 to 8 hours was an eternity in a kidnapping case. Statistics she'd learned during base safety briefings were running through her head. The first 3 hours were critical. The first 24 hours were often decisive. Officers, I appreciate everything you're doing, Jessica said carefully. But while we're waiting for the FBI, I'd like to activate some additional resources. What kind of resources? Officer Rodriguez asked. Jessica pulled out her cell phone, showing them her contacts list. I'm part of a military spouse network that spans every major installation in the United States. We have eyes and ears in every state, and we communicate faster than any official system. Officer Thompson looked skeptical. Ma'am, with respect, this is a federal crime. We need to handle this through proper channels. And we will, Jessica said firmly. But my network can gather intelligence while your proper channels are getting organized. She'd already started composing the alert message before the officers could object further. The text was precise, factual, and designed to spread rapidly through military spouse networks. Tyler Martinez, 7 years old, brown hair, brown eyes, 4'2", wearing blue jeans, red Superman t-shirt, black sneakers. Last seen, 3:15 p.m. John F. Kennedy, Elementary, Fort Bragg. Taken by an unknown female claiming to be Aunt, driving blue sedan, partial NC plate BC. If seen, call 911 immediately. Share with all military spouse networks. Jessica sent the message to 47 contacts simultaneously. Military wives from bases across North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and beyond. Women she'd met during previous assignments, friends from spouse club events, connections made through base activities and deployments. "How many people did you just contact?" Officer Rodriguez asked, watching Jessica's rapid typing. 47 direct contacts, Jessica replied, "but each of them will forward this to their own networks. Military spouses have an unofficial communication system that can reach hundreds of thousands of people within hours." Officer Thompson was taking notes. "And these are all reliable sources?" Jessica looked at him with the patience of someone explaining military culture to a civilian. "Officer, military spouses are trained observers. We notice everything because our survival depends on it. We know every car in our neighborhoods, every face at our schools, every pattern in our daily routines. And when one of our children is in danger, we become a surveillance network that would impress the NSA." Her phone started buzzing with responses before she'd finished speaking. From Fort Liberty, 30 minutes away, Jessica, shared with all NC military spouse networks, MP wife running plates through system. From Camp Lejeune, 45 minutes south, alert active, Marine spouse network monitoring I-95 corridor. From Seymour Johnson AFB, Air Force spouses coordinated, watching eastern NC highways. Within 20 minutes, Jessica's phone was receiving a steady stream of intelligence updates that would have impressed any federal agency. 1625. Hours, Fort Liberty MP network. Blue sedan, NC plate, BC 74228. Registered to Maria Gonzalez, age 34. Last known address, Atlantic Beach. Criminal history, child endangerment charges, dishonorable discharge from Army 2019. 1632 hours. Camp Lejeune network. Vehicle spotted I-95 south, exit 81, heading toward coast. 2 adults, 1 child in back seat. Child appeared distressed. 1638 hours. Cherry Point Marine Network, confirming vehicle US 70 East toward Atlantic Beach. Military spouse followed at distance, maintains visual. 1645 hours. Coast Guard spouse network. Vehicle parked 1247 Ocean Drive, Atlantic Beach. Suspect and child entered house. Civilian surveillance maintaining watch. Officer Rodriguez was staring at Jessica's phone in amazement. "Mrs. Martinez, you've located your son, identified the suspect, obtained criminal background information, and established surveillance in 40 minutes. Our FBI contact team isn't even en route yet." "That's the power of military spouses, officer," Jessica said, already coordinating with the Coast Guard wife who was watching the house. "We protect each other's children like they're our own." Officer Thompson was on his radio, coordinating with Atlantic Beach Police Department and requesting immediate backup. "Jessica, this is incredible work, but now we need to transition to professional law enforcement for the actual recovery." At 1700 hours, FBI Special Agent Sarah Harrison arrived at the school, expecting to begin a complex missing child investigation. Instead, she found a complete intelligence package waiting for her: suspect identification, vehicle information, criminal background, current location, and real-time surveillance. Mrs. Martinez, Agent Harrison said after reviewing the information, how did you compile this level of intelligence in under 2 hours? Jessica looked at the FBI agent with the calm confidence of someone who just demonstrated the effectiveness of a system she'd been part of for 15 years. Agent Harrison, you have federal authority and advanced technology, but we have something you don't have: 1.3 million military spouses who watch each other's children as if they're our own. This is highly irregular, Agent Harrison said. Civilian intelligence gathering can compromise official investigations. Agent, my civilian intelligence gathering just solved your investigation, Jessica replied. Tyler is at 1247 Ocean Drive in Atlantic Beach with Maria Gonzalez, who has a history of child endangerment and was dishonorably discharged from the Army. Your choice is whether to use that information or start your own investigation from scratch. Agent Harrison studied the comprehensive information that Jessica's network had compiled. Mrs. Martinez, this is better intelligence than most federal agencies produce in 24 hours. That's because most federal agencies don't have access to military spouse networks. The FBI tactical team, armed with Jessica's spouse-generated intelligence, surrounded the Atlantic Beach location at 1830 hours. The operation was swift and successful. Tyler was recovered unharmed. Maria Gonzalez was arrested without incident, and an accomplice was taken into custody. Total time from Tyler's disappearance to his safe recovery: 5 hours and 15 minutes. FBI estimated timeline using standard procedures: 12 to 24 hours minimum. As Jessica held Tyler in her arms outside the Atlantic Beach house, Agent Harrison approached her with something approaching awe. Mrs. Martinez, I've been working child abduction cases for 12 years. I've never seen anything like what you accomplished today. Agent Harrison, what I accomplished today was activating a network that's been protecting military children for generations. We just don't usually get the chance to show how effective we are. How does it work? The network, I mean. Jessica smiled, still holding Tyler tightly. It works because military spouses understand something that civilian law enforcement sometimes doesn't. We're all in this together. When one military child is in danger, every military spouse becomes invested in bringing that child home safely. Agent Harrison shook her head in amazement. Would you be willing to consult with us on developing similar civilian networks? Agent, you don't need to develop anything. Military spouse networks already exist in every state, near every major city, along every major highway. You just need to understand how to activate them and coordinate with them. 3 hours later, Jessica sat in her living room at Fort Bragg, watching Tyler play with his action figures as if nothing had happened. Her phone was still buzzing with messages from military spouses across the country. Congratulations, offers of support, and expressions of relief that Tyler was safe. David called from Iraq at their scheduled time, having been briefed by his command about the day's events. Jess, I heard what happened. Are you and Tyler okay? We're fine, Jessica said, watching their son build elaborate battles with his toy soldiers. Tyler's resilient, and honestly, I think the whole experience showed him how many people care about him. The command told me you organized some kind of civilian search operation? Jessica smiled. I activated the spouse network, same network that's been supporting us through 15 years of deployments, moves, and challenges. Today, it just had a different mission. How many people were involved? Hard to say exactly. The initial alert went to 47 direct contacts, but it was forwarded through spouse networks across multiple states. Hundreds of military families were watching for Tyler within the first hour. David was quiet for a moment. Jess, what you did today, that's not normal civilian crisis response. No, it's not. It's military spouse crisis response. We're trained to handle emergencies, to think tactically, to coordinate resources, and to never give up on bringing our people home safely. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of our community. Today proved something I've always believed. Military spouses are the strongest support network in the world. 2 weeks later, Jessica received a call from Agent Harrison. Mrs. Martinez, the FBI is developing a new civilian network program for missing children cases. We'd like you to help us understand how military spouse networks operate so effectively. Agent Harrison, I'd be happy to help, but I want you to understand something first. What you saw wasn't a special program that we developed. It's just how military spouses naturally respond when one of our children is in danger. What makes it so effective? Jessica thought about the question. Watching Tyler play in their backyard with the children of other military families. It's effective because it's built on something stronger than technology or procedures. It's built on the understanding that military families take care of each other no matter what. When Tyler was taken, it wasn't just my child who was missing. It was a military child, and that made him everyone's responsibility. And that's sustainable as a long-term approach? Agent Harrison, this network has been protecting military children for generations. It's not going anywhere. If anything, it's getting stronger as military spouses become more connected through social media and technology. Agent Harrison's program eventually became a model for civilian emergency response networks across the country. But Jessica knew that what they were trying to replicate couldn't be programmed or trained. It had to be lived. Military spouse networks worked because they were built on shared experience, mutual dependence, and the understanding that in a military family, everyone's children are everyone's children. The day Tyler was taken and recovered demonstrated something that military spouses had always known but rarely had the chance to prove. They were America's most effective grassroots intelligence and support network, capable of accomplishing in hours what federal agencies needed days to achieve. 6 months later, when Jessica's friend Michelle had a similar crisis at Fort Campbell, the network activated again with the same speed and effectiveness. And 6 months after that, when a military child went missing at Ramstein Air Base in Germany, American military spouses coordinated international resources that located the child before local authorities had finished filing paperwork. The network never sleeps, never stops watching, and never fails to bring military children home. Because in the military spouse community, every child is our child, and no one gets left behind.